Female nature is not something to be proud of. It's not something to be aspired to. It's something that is hurtful. It's something that messes a lot of things up. Women are naturally abundant because of course they are. It's like they're constantly getting guys hit on them. They're constantly viewed as the prize in society. They're constantly being reinforced with attention and sex offers and dating offers and everything else. They're rock stars without even trying. They're rock stars without even having a talent. And that is something that I don't think is, I don't think that's something that is like normal in the sense that they didn't earn it, right? So a rock star or a basketball player or a movie star, yes, these people are in a position of privilege and they're in a position of like, you know, great praise and things. And to a great extent, there's a lot of messed up, you know, that's kind of messed up in and of itself. Like really, you know, people in society or just people in general shouldn't be put on a pedestal because it's not it's not healthy. Just in general, it warps. I think it warps not only the person who's being put on the pedestal, I think it warps the people who are putting them on the pedestal. To worship other men and women for things that are not really that amazing, you know, there's something weird about that. There's something that's not normal about that. What is normal? Well, we don't know what normal is because our society has never been normal. Humans have never been normal. We've been messed up probably since day one. Of course, if you get into the whole like Eve bit the apple and then mankind got corrupted after that, if you get into that whole theory, then yeah. But how could you not get into that theory? Because it's like, well, the world is messed up. I don't walk outside and see roses and smiles and buttercups and people holding hands and laughing and loving and everything is mutual and normal. I go outside and I see chaos. I go outside and I see corruption, evil, greed, lies, cheating, distortion, oppression from every angle. The foundation of our society is based on corruption. You got to work in order to survive. You're fundamentally a slave. Fundamentally. So our society, humans are messed up. And that's just, you just can't argue that. If you're arguing it, you're looking at humanity and life through rose-colored glasses. You're looking at it through your own cognitive dissonance bent. You're not being realistic. You're not being real. The real truth is that the world is suffering. People are suffering. People are in turmoil. People are in slavery. That's the real truth of the matter. And the only way you don't look at it like that is if you're, you know, a psychological romantic. You romanticize that. I used to be like that. I idealized everything. Oh, life is so great because I've got all these fancy ideas in my mind. But there's got to be a certain point where you look at it for what it is. You look at life for what it is. Okay, people got to go to work. People got to pay bills. There's fun and sure, there's things in life that make life worth living. Let's put it that way. Like it's better to be alive than, you know, maybe a lot of people think that it's better to die than be alive because they believe they'll be in paradise. They believe they'll be in heaven. They believe they'll be with Jesus. They believe they'll be with their passed on relatives. They believe that it's going to be better on the other side. And that's a fair belief. It's fair for them to believe that because there's a lot of suffering here if you're honest. or if you're realistic and you look at it from, from an objective viewpoint, you look at it for what it is. But yeah, there's some moments we get to share love if we're lucky. We get to share laughter and friendship if we're lucky. Of course, even those things, and this is just the way it is, those things deteriorate. Those things deteriorate. Friendships end. Your family is really the only thing that lasts, but even that, your family's not as good as it used to be. You shared love moments with your family or whatever, but then you guys grow up, and then they got to pay bills, and then they're no longer fun, and then you lack love, and you don't feel the love like you used to, and all kinds of things, man. Life is chock full of suffering. So it's just like, we put people on pedestals because that's the ideal. That's what we want to be. And for some reason, we've had this distorted ideal that women are somehow special. So they naturally have abundance. It's not normal. That's not normal. They're not normal. They're used to being uplifted. So anytime you talk to a girl, anytime you go out and you try to date a girl, anytime you interact with a girl, your interactions with her are not normal. You're lucky if you get any experiences of normality with her, because she's just not normal. She's a celebrity. Celebrities aren't normal. Like, if I were to hang out with Leonardo DiCaprio, it would be a bizarre moment. It would be a bizarre time, because this is not a normal guy. If I were to hang out with Joe that I grew up with, it might be somewhat normal. We might share moments. It might be a bond. It might be like a cool little, cool little couple hours or whatever, because I grew up with this guy, and we're both regular Joes, and we're both, there's nothing incredibly special about us. And people are so distorted in this day and age. They think that's boring. They think that's abnormal. They think we all got to be extra. We all got to be cool and performy and like act like we're celebrities. And this is what you have when you go downtown, when you go out to clubs or whatever. You get a bunch of people acting weird. You get a bunch of people acting not normal. You get a bunch of people acting all extra, because in their mind they think acting extra is special or something. They think acting normal is not cool. Acting normal is weird. When in reality, acting normal is the way to be. Acting, in a way that you share bonds with people, you share experiences, you laugh, it's good to be normal, man. Being all extra, acting like you're something you're not, acting like you're a celebrity, like that's just, it's vexing. It's tiring. It's like, why? It's stressful. Like, you're not acting like yourself. And I'm not saying women don't act like themselves. I'm just saying they're thrust into this position where they're just celebrities. They're just not normal. Right? Women are not players. Okay, like I hear this online, or I read these things, or I read this meme that says, "Oh, you think you're a player? Let me show you how it's done." And this is I think that meme, that phrase, sums up women from 2005 to 2020. Sums up almost all women. I think they all read that meme and they're like, "Oh, okay, that's what I am. You think you're a player? Like, oh, guys think you're gonna play with me, huh? I'll show you who's a real player. Like, yeah, that'll really get them. Just be a whore. Like, okay, yeah, don't be normal. Don't have any normal feelings like I really love somebody. Don't have any normal feelings like I really, want to communicate with somebody. I really want to feel special with somebody. No, be a weirdo. Like, don't text somebody back, or be real aloof and be elusive. And I don't even know if they're trying to be like that, or they just are like that, because that's just what you get. You don't get somebody who texts you back normally. You don't get somebody who responds to you normally. You don't get somebody who has real normal feelings like, hey, I want attention and I want you to give me attention. No, it's this bad bitch. It's this hard to get diva. And it's just like, I see it all over social media, and I'm just like, you're weird. You're a weirdo. Like, that's not sexy. That's not intriguing. Like, what am I going to do with that? I can't do anything with that. Like, you want me to chase you? That's stupid. It's boring. It's a waste of time. And this is with all these girls that they're out. They all like, I've got high value. I'm in abundance. It's like they're not even normal people. You can't even have a conversation with them. You can't even talk to them like normal people. Like, what are you? I think it was Louis C.K. who had a great stand-up bit where he was talking about hot girls. He was like, are hot girls even humans? Like, what are you? Like, he's like, hey, I'm a hot girl. I go to this club and guys want to fuck me. And then I go over to this club and guys want to fuck me. That's just my life. Like, for real, what are you? Like, are you even normal? Are you even a human being? Like, there's no common ground with that. There's no common ground with that. Like, how do you share any moments with somebody like that? You're constantly chasing them. You're constantly vying for their attention with other guys. It's just like, it's stupid. It's like they're celebrities. It's like, you wouldn't want to hang out with a celebrity. You wouldn't want to be friends with a celebrity. Because it'd be weird. You'd just be like, wow, like, yeah, we're cool and we're friends, but I don't even know who you really are, because you're this person. You're this perceived entity that people believe is like super special, but I don't even know who the real you is. And even if I did get to know the real you, it would still be awkward and stressful, and there'd be like pressure, because like, even though I knew who the real you was, I'd always in the back of my mind be thinking, oh, this is Leonardo DiCaprio. Even though I'm friends with Leo and I hang out with Leo and he's my buddy and like I know the real Leo, this is still Leonardo DiCaprio. So I can never really be normal around him, because in the back of my mind, I'm always acting like he's royalty. Like, I'm always thinking like, oh, I got to treat him a certain way. And it's like, why do we do that? Why? That's just a person. He did some movies, and like, you wouldn't say, well, anybody can do what Michael Jordan does. No, not anybody can do what Michael Jordan does, just like Michael Jordan, but anybody can play basketball. And I'm not saying anybody can be amazing at basketball, but if given the opportunities, people could improve. There's a lot of, it's just, the problem is it's just, there's a what's the word? There's a siphon where it siphons out, people who aren't good enough, and then people who are good enough make it. But see, there's a lot more that you don't know about that, like timing, chance, when it comes to timing, like the alignment of the time, like, well, you got to be good at a certain time. And this goes for anything, politics, acting, anything that makes somebody famous. Technically, a lot of different people could do that position. It's just timing. It's timing, having natural born talent. A lot of people have natural born talent to be a politician. A lot of people have the gift of gab. A lot of people have charisma. They just don't apply it in the right timing, in the right way, in order to get that position at the city council or whatever, right? So when we say, oh, Obama is so special, well, there could be thousands of other Obamas out there that could do just what Obama did, maybe even better. It's just that they don't have the timing. So, well, Obama's so special. No, he was just in the right place at the right time. He did the right things in his life, made the right decisions. Sure, he planned. Sure, he had goals. Sure, he sacrificed. Sure, he maybe worked hard. I mean, we don't know all that happened, all that really happened. But he was in the right places at the right times to graduate a certain school, to get a certain position, to move up at a certain position, to be in the right places at the right times. It's just timing. So there's nothing like, Obama's one out of a zillion. Not really. It's just that he was one who did the right things at the right times, and it worked out for him. Same with Michael Jordan, same with Leo DiCaprio. And yet we worship these people as if they're like so unique. There's only one of them, and like they're almost like they're gods. And it's like, even that though is like, there's merit in that, because it's like, okay, well, you did work hard, you did have this natural talent that has nothing to do with your looks or something you didn't actually work for. It's something that is inherent in you, or pardon me, it's not something that's inherent in you. It's something you worked for. But when it comes to women, it's like, they don't work for that. Okay, sure, maybe they don't get fat, or maybe they don't go to the gym, but even women who are fat, guys are attracted to fat girls. fat porn, BBW porn is very popular. So it's like you don't even have to try if you're a woman. You don't have to have a talent. You don't have to have anything special about you. Right? Now, like I said, I think celebrities are weird. I think that concept is weird. Like, okay, maybe not everybody can act and do exactly like Leo DiCaprio did, but people can act. Are they as special as Leo DiCaprio? I don't know. Why do we put all this worship on Leo DiCaprio? Why don't we put more worship on Robert De Niro? He's arguably a better actor. Well, Robert De Niro isn't as good looking as Leo DiCaprio. He wasn't in Titanic, and he didn't make a bunch of ladies' hearts swoon. So he's not as popular universally as Leo DiCaprio. He's a popular actor, but he's not in the same vein as Leo DiCaprio. Oh, okay. See how weird that shit is? It's like these little small minute differences make somebody a lot more amazing and a lot more worshipable than this other person who's arguably just as good at the same thing. Isn't that weird as humans? Isn't it weird that we're like that? Okay, but that's just the example of somebody with talent. We still worship people who don't have talent. We worship people for just being born good looking. And that's weird. That's not normal. You can't. It's like, this is our society. In the Old Testament, they have something called Asherahs. I'm pretty sure it's called Asherahs. They're female deity idols. Idols built to worship the female figure, the female, whatever. Just to worship females, right? They're idols made to worship females. This is our society. Our society is literal physical Asherahs walking around, literal female idols. We worship women, and it's weird. It's not normal. It's like, why wouldn't you just be normal? Why wouldn't you just why do I have to like perform and like have all this, like, it's just, and people are so twisted. Guys are so twisted. They say, oh, it's biology. It's biology. No, it's not. It's not biology. What it is it's social constructs. It's social engineering. And I think it's evil. I think the source of it is evil. But point being, it's not, oh, this is just female body. No, it wasn't always like that. And you say, well, what was it like before? Women were put down and da-da-da-da. It's like, well, I don't know about all that. I mean, I just don't think that we had the type of society that uplifted women as we do now. And I'm not even talking about feminism. I'm just talking about just our general society. And yes, feminism has added to that, but our general society. It's a social construct. It's a social construct to place a whole bunch of worth on somebody for just being a certain gender, for just being, good looking. It's a social construct that Leonardo DiCaprio is more popular than Robert De Niro because Leonardo DiCaprio happens to be better looking. And he happens to make girls' hearts go swoon. And you say, well, that's just normal. That's just the free market at work, or that's just the way the ball bounces. It's the way the cookie crumbles. Maybe, I don't know. But it's weird at the end of the day that Leonardo DiCaprio would get more praise just for being good looking. He didn't do anything. He didn't accomplish anything. He's just good looking. Right? It's weird that women would get praised for existing. That's a social construct. That's a mental construct. That's not something that's like helping anyone. That's not like, oh, you earned it. You totally earned it. You know what I mean? So what's the point? Well, the point is that how can we find love? How can we find normality? How can we find common ground, or even equality? How can we find these things when women are in a position of worship? When women are on a pedestal? I don't think we can. I think until we take that off, until we remove that veneer of worship, we can't ever be normal. And I think women themselves can never be normal. I don't think they're normal. I don't think they understand how to be normal. I don't think they operate in a normal headspace or a normal, emotion space, because they're so used to this position that they're in. I don't know if they'll ever be normal, at least in this generation, until we start changing things, until we start raising them different. Just some thoughts, guys. Thanks for listening. Jay Lee, Northwest Podcast.